You went to high school in Texas, the Woodlands.
Yep.
Shout out.
You played in Texas Stadium in high school?
Yes, sir.
Didn't you play in the Astrodome in high school too?
Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ.
And the Alamo Dome, too.
And the Alamo Dome.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just getting dome all over Texas.
so much Texas Dome.
The trifecta.
Now, give us
Sorry.
one cool thing of each of those stadiums.
I mean, Texas, there's nothing like the old school Texas Stadium. You see highlights of Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Dion back in the day making plays there. They hung a couple banners up in there too. So the tradition in Texas Stadium, it's a mecca for high school football championship games. A bunch of bowl games used to come through there, and you walk into that stadium and you could feel the tradition. It wasn't the prettiest sight, but that there's been great football played there, and they an old Texas folk tale is that they cut a hole in the roof so God could watch. And
America's team, right?
America's team. So it was really kind of it was the mecca for high school sports. I played a 3 overtime game versus Tyler Lee in that stadium.
What year is this?
This was 2003.
2003. This is your senior year?
It was actually the 2004. I think it was
One of those 2 years.
The
Football years suck.
Yeah, no, it was end of the 2003, right before I graduated in 2004. But it was the 2003 year of the season.
Is this state championship?
It was a playoff game to go to it was a semifinals. I
So
believe.
we're playing playoff games in Texas Stadium.
Yep. A lot of great athletes play there. I mean, anybody that's ever played in a big high school football game in Texas has played in front of 50,000 people at Texas Stadium. And we didn't play our state championship game there. We played at Rice, but it was these big stadiums get packed, dude. I played in the state championship my senior year. It was an all Houston final in Houston, and we had 50,000 people there. And it was the first time I really felt what a big game was really supposed to feel like.
Wow. Friday Night Lights, it's real.
Yeah.
Now, what do you remember about the Alamo Dome? Where is the Alamo Dome?
The Alamo Dome is in San Antonio. You see the Alamo Dome in bowl games. You see it in a lot of college basketball finals. I've played the Final Four. They just played the Final Four there a couple weeks ago. It's kind of a basic stadium, but the city of San Antonio fully supports and comes out to any high school football, college football game there, any basketball event there, and it's a staple in Texas as a premier bowl spot and high school game field. We opened up. They have the Texas Football Classic there every year. You open up the season, first game of the year there. We did that one year, and we got the opportunity to play on TV. In the state of Texas at the Alamo Dome, and again another opportunity to kind of get your name out there, show the world, the state what you can do, and try to keep moving up the ranks.
Such a Texan, show the world. No, ain't no one outside of Texas in 2003 watching that goddamn game. Okay, you Texans
do have
think
the
everything's about goddamn Texas.
That's one thing. Texas people do love Texas.
Now, what's up with the Astrodome?
I played in the Astrodome my sophomore year versus Duncanville. It was a big game, another opener of the season. And you play these schools all around Texas that aren't in your district. You really have an opportunity to play against a lot of great football teams. It was old school turf, dude. It smelled like old beer in there. I used to go to Astros games all the time, watch Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell, and you walk in there and the brightness of the turf like immediately illuminates your eyes, and then you just smell that old crusty beer in the seats, and it's like you're like, this is what sports is supposed to smell like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you hit the trifecta. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What's like growing up in Texas?
It's all about football. My dad's a high school football coach in Texas. I actually played against him in the district. And
so you went to a different high school than your dad's high school that he coached. Yeah. And you guys played him.
We played against each other. They were in our district. They're another really good team in our district.
How's that go down?
It's cool, man. And we had he was the defensive coordinator. Obviously, I played receiver, so
he just double you all game.
He beat us my sophomore year, then we beat them my junior and senior year. But he was out on the numbers, calling out the plays. They're doing this, they're doing that. He's been watching our offense, as I came through the ranks and my brother came through the ranks. So he knew every play that we were about to call.
Why didn't you guys go to his high school?
Because my brother and I grew up in the Woodlands. All our friends were there in the Woodlands. That's where our house was. He traveled like 15 minutes south at the time to Westfield High School. And they were good, man. We went to the state finals my senior year, and then the next year his team went to the state finals. We both ended up losing that game, but really good teams. So the talent was there.
Now, how's the dinner table after your dad beats you?
It was quiet, man. You know, he humbled me early. And got us. He had to get some good players, and then we got him my junior and senior year. I have one great memory though. We had an interception that their DB ran down their sideline. I go to tackle him. I get blindsided, blown up, and into the sideline. My dad catches me, and then throws me back on the field. And I go back and I'm starting to try to run this guy down, but he scored on it. So. It's just, you know, I remember every game before we played each other, you know, he'd come up, tell me he loved me and he's proud of me. And then we'd go about our business and have fun for the next 3-4 hours. And then it was awesome, man. Great memory.
How bad did you want to beat him?
I was begging him to put, guys on me that I knew I could toast. I'm like, give me Bobby, give me, whoever, Billy, I don't care. I'm going to toast all of them. And then, he put their best player. I forget what his name, but he ended up going to play in college, and we had a battle, man. They had some really good teams. So
who were some good, like some big name high schoolers in Texas around the time you play in the league that you remember?
I grew up watching Colt McCoy play.
Colt McCoy
played in the NFL for a long time. Chris Obanaya played in the NFL for a long time. Running back at Texas.
Yeah,
I played with him in the Rams. He played in Cleveland for a while. Just a lot of guys that filter either through Texas A&M, Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech. And UT, that's UT. These teams got a lot of money now, the NIL, and they can pay to get the best players. So
now, wait up. You grew up in Texas. You go to Texas Tech. Did you want to go to UT?
I initially wanted to go to A&M, but I remember my dad came home when I was a sophomore. I started getting recruited. And my dad said, my dad had all this inside information because he was a high school football coach in the state. He knew all the recruiters, he knew all the coaches, and they would tell him like, hey, we're not going to offer you Danny. We'll, and then so he came in, and I wanted to go to A&M because he had Dante Hall went to A&M. My dad coached Dante in high school.
Oh shit, really?
I grew up watching A&M, going to Aggie Lane, College Station to watch them play. Huge Aggie fan, wanted to go there. And my dad came home one day. He's like, listen, A&M told me they're not going to offer you a scholarship. I'm too small. And they had already delegated a certain amount of scholarships out to their guys already. Yeah. And they had commits, so I wasn't going to touch the field there. But he came home one night and he said, Texas Tech's going to offer you. And I knew their offense, Cliff Kingsbury, Wes Welker, guys that, Wes was catching 13, 15 balls a game and, similar, size and stature. I'm like, hey, I can do that. Let's go. So Tech offered me as a sophomore. I committed as a junior. And I committed to Tech before I even took a visit. And
now
I was ready
in
to go.
this day and age, so say like somehow Danny Amendola is playing right now at Texas Tech, balls out his freshman year. Yeah. Is he graduating a Texas Tech guy, or is he going to get NIL somewhere else at A&M or UT? They say, hey, here's the real money, kid.
Yeah,
get out of those minor leagues in Texas Tech. Because I went to a 2A school.
Right.
So you went to a AAA school.
Right, yeah.
I went to a 2A school at Kent State, but we put up some powerhouses up there. So
yeah, right.
Would you have finished at Texas Tech?
I mean, I'm loyal to Tech. I can't imagine going anywhere else. I came from nothing though, money-wise. It's enticing when you got $2 million on the table, $3 million on the table. The decisions these kids have to make, thank God I don't have to make them. So, but Texas Tech is my home. I have all my, great friends went there. A bunch of great coaches came through, and I'm loyal to the red and black.
So your dad coached Dante Hall, the human joystick.
The human joystick.
Has one of the most elite punt returns, probably the most elite punt return that we all could just remember.
Yeah.
I mean, how was he in high school?
He was crazy. He played running back, actually. And they tried to get him the ball in every play. And, I remember I was a ball boy when he was at Nimitz High School, and he was a senior there. and just getting to watch him go through Texas A&M, played running back there. They try to get him the ball in every play, and then he punt return, kick return in college as well. So, dynamic player, he's great hands, obviously great body control. The transition from running back to receiver in the NFL was pretty easy for him. Although he excelled in the special teams roles, he definitely contributed on offense too. So it was great to see him transform into a receiver.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out.
Yes.
Shout out Hasbro.
There it is.
Shout out Hasbro. In one sentence, can you describe football in Texas? One sentence.
One sentence.
Texas education. Let's see it.
Yeah. The town stops and the people go crazy.
Paint the picture. Friday night at the Woodlands, rival town, homecoming, rival teams there. Paint us the picture of what the city and that your high school experience was. Because I went to California.
Yeah.
Bunch of hippies out here and stuff. Like our football is really good, but we had 30,000 people coming to at least my school. There's some that float around, but I want to hear the Texas Woodlands, 2A, 5A, whatever freaking A you guys are.
Yeah. I mean, first off, they put so much work in the offseason and into 7-on-7 and into, off-season football. And then they get into the season and then the city shuts down. The town completely stops. Everybody
you got a
comes
billboard
out.
in front of your house?
Like
Varsity
I've seen that
Blues?
Friday Night Lights, yeah.
No, I don't. I have a funny story I'll share with you after this, but we it's all about the pride of the city that you're from and representing that, in the best way possible. And there's no better way to do that than football and on a Friday night.
Then what's that funny story you had?
So just to give you like a little rundown on how popular, sports in general, but in football is in our community. We have a community newspaper, just like a lot of communities do. And I was 18 and I had my brother's fake ID and I needed to go buy everybody beer on a Saturday after the Friday night game. So I walk into the gas station. I got my fake ID, which is my brother's ID. Shout out, Matt. Thank you. And I go to put the beer on the desk and I'm pulling up my ID. Yes, sir. Here's my $22 cash, crinkled up $1 bills. And he goes, I can't sell you that. I'm like, why not? I'm like, what do you mean you can't sell me that? I'm clearly 22 years old. And he goes, because you're on the front page of the he's the Woodlands Chronicle over here. Scoring touchdowns in high school, buddy. Get out.
So he didn't sell it to you?
He didn't sell me the
God darn it.
So it wasn't that popular.
I know it.
It's not like where Daisy Confused where the guy looks the other way. He's like, all right, boys, go have fun.
Right. But
that's so sick.
So we had to find a new way.
That rocks.
Does your mom go to your game or your dad's games?
Oh, mine. Yeah.
Yeah, Amendola.
Amendola represents.